I'm John. My brother-in-law cut his water fountain cord in half and asked me if I could splice it so he could still use it without going into his water fountain and disconnecting the cord and putting in a new cord. So I thought that would also be a good video to use. So I took this extension cord. There was no plug on it anyway, so it wasn't much good. But anyway, I'm going to splice this together in case you want to put a waterproof splice in a cord pretty quick and simple. You need a few things. You need some solder. You need some shrink tube. You can get shrink tube online, Amazon. You can get shrink tube at Platt Electric. A few places have shrink tube. Now you put a little heat on this and it shrinks up, so that helps make it pretty waterproof. The other thing that I use is 120C. It's Scotch 120C. It takes the place of Scotch 23 that we all used a long time ago. But this is vulcanized rubber, and once it's smashed together, it cures and it sets up pretty good. So 120C and some electrical Scotch 33, which is there. So anyway, this won't take too long. Let's get busy. First thing we want to do is we want to put some shrink tube down these cords. So we get this shrink tube and we slide it down, slide it way down this cord, okay? And I usually do two pieces, so we'll put one on one side and one on the other. And sometimes I don't even use the other side, but it's there in case I need it. Let's lower the angle of the camera, okay, so you can see what's on the table. I got a little water and a thing to clean my soldering gun off with. There you go. And a little solder here. First thing we want to do is strip. We want to strip this back. So you end up with this. You've got a black, a white, and a green on each side. And we're going to twist those together. So we're going to put some shrink tube on them. Measure it down a little bit. Cut it. There we go. And I even do the green also. Might be a little long. You get your other piece in here. Keep the heat from shrinking the shrink tube. Let's use this one. That looks like it's good. There's the first one. It's pretty solid, solid. Okay. Okay, that takes care of the neutral. All right, next we'll go with the ground. Nice and tight on the twist. You gotta have good fingers to do this. And we put the heat shrinker on there again. Keeps the heat from going back on the shrink tube. Well, I'm supposed to be using this this guy here. I guess I should, huh? Now if you get a little too much solder on there like I just did, you can heat it up and hit it, or you can take your cutters like I'm doing here and trim the little bit of solder off. So there. All right, take our heat sink off. And we'll slide the heat sink, the shrink tube. Yeah, I got a little knot there. We'll take a little cutter and cut that little knot off. Wasn't too bad. All right. Okay, there's number 2. All right. And we'll shrink that down. Cooling off a little bit. Okay. So we got 2. Now the third one, where'd the heat sink go? So got this one about here. All right. Slide that on there. Now, I usually, when it comes to a black lead, it's where all your voltage is. I usually double that. So I put one on both sides, like that. Okay, so we twist these guys together. Alright, so we're going to use a heat sink on this side. And a heat sink on this side, so it doesn't shrink the tubing, the heat shrink tubing. Okay, so we're almost done. Clean off my soldering gun here. I call it a gun because we used to have guns that heated up really quickly, but this is a 25-watt soldering gun. So soldering iron, I guess is the right term. Okay. We'll cool that down. All right, we'll take the shrink tube heat sinks off. That's so the heat doesn't travel down the wire and shrink the tube before we get it slid over. So we look at this very carefully, and we take the shortest one, the smallest one, if one of them got shrunk a little bit where the other one didn't. So take the shortest, or the smallest one, which was the one on the right, on my right. And we're going to shrink him down a little. Okay, John, you can do better than that. Let's get this down. That's a boy. And since this is the hot one, the black lead, so we take the other side and we slide him over the other shrink tube like that, just to do it double. No, that's something you don't have to do, but I'm a dummy. I like to do it. Shrink that tube down. All right. So that was pretty easy. So we have green, white, and black. And we cool them down a little bit here. All right. Now what I usually do after this is I wrap them with Scotch 33, and then I wrap them with the 120C. Dry them off a little here. Okay, here's my Scotch 33. All right. Now that's my 33. Now this is kind of the Scotch 120C. Take out the off the outer layer. All right. Now I like to peel this off a little. Make sure you stretch it. Now this will cure. And give you a waterproof connection because it adheres to each other. So there's your 120C. It's all ship shape. Alright. And you can pull on it if you want. It's fine. It can't go anywhere. It's good and solid. Okay. So now we're going to slide our big heat shrink down here. So now we're going to heat shrink this. Okay, good enough. Now after I finish it, I go over it real quick with 33, Scotch 33, nice and tight. It's a little warm when I do it, so it sucks down in there. And there it is. Not the best job I've ever done, but it's waterproof. And John here, electricians need to know. Now I have about 20 videos on YouTube that deal with mainly electrical issues. We have some tying off ladders and protecting your toolbox and things of that nature. But primarily I've been an electrician for 50 years and I'm trying to pass that on before I kick the bucket. So subscribe to my channel, and periodically I'll put on another video, and hopefully you'll be notified. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.